Hey, Tom.
Hey, Brandon.
Did the Broncos lose?
No. Stop. It's fitting your narrative.
Did the Packers lose with a backup quarterback?
No. Stop. It's fitting your narrative.
Victory Monday.
Real quick, can we just use that for one more thing?
Sure.
Are the Vikings going to beat the Packers next week? And you play the
No. Stop. It's fitting your narrative.
It's fitting their narrative.
Fitting your narrative.
Oh.
We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GPS. Yeah. Brandon, it is a happy Monday for both of us. Both our defenses crushing, lighting it up. The sacks.
13 combined between our teams, Tom. 13.
Packers had 8, so they had more.
Yeah.
So
I would say the Packers are a more complete team.
Malik Willis, put some respect on his name. He is 2-0 as a starter.
What you talking about, Willis? Wins,
baby.
Wins.
Also, today on GPS, Brandon Perna has to join a religion.
Did I say that Friday?
You did, Friday. You said if the Broncos were getting a win against the Buccaneers, you would join any religion, and we would decide.
Yeah, I say Friday doesn't. I say crazy things on Friday. That I can't be held accountable for saying something on a Friday.
You're like, it's been a long week. A whole weekend passes. A lot of things change between Friday and a Monday.
Yeah.
Something.
If actually, I'll join.
Sorry.
I'll become Buddhist. I'm going Buddhism. That's my choice.
Okay.
I think that aligns the most probably with where I'm at spiritually.
I was thinking flying spaghetti monster. I think that'd be pretty
pray
good.
To that.
Or
pray to that.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of negativity about Scientology, right? And about just how things are not the greatest over there. I think you could have a plethora of guest options. If you could talk to Tom Cruise and do a weekly show with him, and he's like, Brandon, we have to do it falling out of a helicopter. I think that's
I'll jump out of a copter, but only with Tom Cruise. Nobody else.
With Tom Cruise as your parachute is what I was going to say.
Yeah, if he wants to be my parachute, like I'll be the guy that's
it's a tandem,
him, right?
Yeah, it's a tandem jump.
Yep. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll be strapped to Tom.
And Tom's like, I don't pull the chute until we're 3 feet from the ground.
He's like, and if we hit, you actually absorb the fall.
Yeah, you're just.
I survived because I'm Tom Cruise. I would join Scientology
Agreed.
if I could just skip like the first 6 levels where I have to give them most of my life savings.
Yeah.
You got to get up in the tier of that.
It's a membership program. It's a tier system, right?
Yeah.
If you flip it, it's kind of like what would they call it? It's like maybe like a pyramid, but
pyramid.
Yeah, something like that.
Some
right?
sort of schematic pyramid, right?
Yeah, exactly. A schematic pyramid, right?
Sure.
Start at the top. Yeah, goes down.
Whatever religion would help me destroy the Chiefs? That's
I think a religion that would help destroy the Chiefs is consistent officiating.
Oh, I can just become a Wiccan. What the fuck am I thinking, Tom?
That's true. You could curse your own curse wheel. Which,
if I'm choosing a religion, I'm going to witchcraft.
By the way, I'm sorry, but I thought in my heart of hearts that my co-host had some
Integrity?
Integrity.
Wrong.
Integrity. I don't know why I thought this when everything in the past few years has just,
No, this is
caused the opposite. But
I confessed.
No.
Yes, I did.
You confessed when it was convenient
No.
for you.
You know why I confessed, Tom?
Fraud.
You know why I
Fraud.
confessed? Why? Let me explain why.
Because everyone was
So
gonna
for
say
anybody
it
who
was
doesn't know,
rigged.
my curse wheel, which I do in power rankings, obviously, it cursed the Lions this week.
Okay, in the
Or
fourth
did
quarter.
it? And now the curse wheel, it picks a team every week and then they lose. Previously, it had landed on 6. And then it landed on 6 again, and then it landed on 6 again.
Meanwhile,
This
hold on.
week,
Timeout. We called you in to GPS because I was like, is it just crooked? Is it doesn't roll on anything but spin on anything but 6? And you did a live demonstration.
yeah,
So you could have used that footage,
sure.
but instead,
No, I've spun
you
it several
lied?
times to be sure.
deceit. That's not how Brandon. You
Off
first of
camera,
all,
I just want to make sure the wheel works. Like,
you
yeah,
curse
okay.
the Strouds.
Hey,
They're gonna kill you.
so
Like,
what happened was last week I spun it. It landed on 6 again, and I was like, I can't have another 6. People are gonna start calling me a fraud. They're gonna say it's
too
rigged.
late.
I was like,
Too late.
I didn't even know who 6 was.
Yes.
So I was like, let me just do it again. And it landed on 7. I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. Who's that? The Lions. So during the week of football, and I'm watching the Vikings, I was like, wait, was it a 6? Was the Texans at 6? And I looked it up. I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. It actually did land on 6 first. So I think even though I fucked it up, I made the mistake. I think the wheel's still undefeated is what I'm saying.
No, it's not. Nope. Because even if the wheel is undefeated, you're not. Okay.
That's
well,
okay.
I'm not
I'll
just talking
take
about
my
the
L's.
Broncos.
I'll
No.
take my L's.
Now we're gonna pick a very different religion, and you are gonna have to be active. You are going every day. Every day.
Mm-mm.
No, let's go. Let's go, baby.
I'm not going every day. Anyway.
You know what? I think there should be a punishment because you cheated the wheel.
No, that's not how it works.
Can we please do
It's
that?
my
please?
wheel. I live with it.
Can you please?
I keep the curse master in my home.
Please.
No.
I have a
Dude, I already
punishment.
have two
No,
punishments
it's
that I
not for
can't
clickbait.
even
No,
do.
no, it's nice and easy. It's really easy. You barely have to do anything.
All right, what is it?
Friday, when we have to do Skullcast and I have to do the whole Vikings thing, can you do the Chiefs thing with me so I'm not alone?
No.
Come on,
No.
man. I didn't do anything wrong. All right?
Nope.
It was thrusted upon me.
Nope. You will be scolding Sam Darnold. Skull. Eosis.
I tried. That's not. No.
Oh.
Steeler football.
No, that's
Okay.
not. It doesn't just benefit the Chiefs. That's not how it works, Darian.
No, it good. Yeah,
No.
If the Chiefs win, if they win the Super Bowl, if they three-peat, it is your fault. It is 1,000,000% your fault. We're gonna hold on to that narrative forever. We're gonna do it again. I'm just saying. Perna, we thought week 2 was crazy,
Week
in
3
the
was
NFL.
nuts.
and then week 3
Bananas.
said, "Hold my beer." What the actual hell? The pick'ems gone. I think last night, I finished 6-8. I think
Oof, yeah.
I was like 2-6 at some point. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was truly. I don't know if Lions are curse proof because good God, like a lot of Lions fans going, oh, you know what? I guess the curse will work because half our team is injured now. So I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I think we overhyped the Cardinals, Detroit. I think too, like we always talk about, week 1 kind of being an extension of the preseason now for NFL teams, right? Maybe it's the first 2 weeks.
It's
I think maybe
September.
the first 2 weeks are still like nothing is going to really make sense. From the Panthers,
Perna got a fitty.
kicking the piss out of the Raiders. The Cardinals looking good, then sucking. Okay, true congratulations to all the clickbait teams for coming up with a win in week 3. Every clickbait member should be proud of their teams, all of them. That's right. All of us are celebrating on Monday because of our teams.
Sure.
Oh man, I don't think we have a good Cowboys clip to play in memoriam.
We not? Oh, we don't have the glory hole one anymore.
No, I think it's gone. Here's close enough.
But I love sex.
I just busted right inside him, and he can't extend on me anymore, and he seems a little overwhelmed by my girth.
I don't watch porn.
That's Skip Bayless. He's a Cowboys fan. There you go.
That Skip Bayless, like out of context, is absolute. That was such a.
You can't handle my girth.
That's such a great find.
Hmm.
Also, real quick though, yes, we are gonna laugh at the Dallas Cowboys. Ravens, you are so effing lucky that you did not blow that game. If they blew that game, it would have been horrendous. So, you escaped. You survived. I want to talk about the Broncos game. We'll talk about the Packers game, and then we'll start getting into some other stuff.
Only reason you get a lead is so you can let it slowly slip away and still win.
That's true.
Raiders fans got to be down bad.
Bro, what
because...
the F happened to your defense? The offense, again, I expect kind of sucked. Andy Dalton, you and I both talked about having a veteran and they're going to play better. But what the hell happened to your defense? I mean, there was two really, oh my God, there were some nice throws by Andy Dalton. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that one touchdown, dude, it's just...
To Adam Thielen, just an FDR. That's called an FDR, kids.
Thielen got hit for that, but good God, what a beautiful freaking touchdown.
Yeah, the Raiders, you got a question now. It's like, okay, so one thing, and I saw Brett Coleman point this out, and we talked a little bit about it, where week one, Panthers line didn't look great, but we're like, is that them? Is that Bryce? Week two, they looked very good. We're like, okay, it's definitely Bryce. Week three, that continues. I think, Brett, they have like one of the most efficient pass blocking offensive lines right now. I think actually the most efficient pass blocking offensive line in the NFL. So Andy Dalton, the veteran quarterback, you give him a good offensive line in front of him, he's going to play well. Max Crosby doesn't get a sack in this game. Doesn't even touch the Red Ryder BB gun. Okay. That's big. He's your best defensive player. Wasn't a story at all. And then you had Antonio Pierce after the game saying, I saw some guys out there making business decisions, and we'll be making business decisions soon.
That's a cold line right there.
Raiders can't run the football either.
No. Well,
Bodism. Hell yeah.
Fans, I mean, that was what my concern was. It was Amir White, Dylan Laube, and I was like, I don't know what this run is going to look like. And their offense is just not good. But we kind of knew that their offense wasn't going to be great. I'm so disappointed in that defense. And Panthers, dude, I saw Canales going into the locker room, getting all hyped up and cheering and stuff. I'm sure can't feel great for Bryce Young. Because I think the whole narrative all of last week was, well, Bryce Young got thrown into this horrible situation and he can't, he's not doing much. And then Dalton comes in and plays much better. Yeah. And I think there was definitely a different energy about the team. And I think that there's a couple things. One, we've talked about having that experience with Andy Dalton. He's been in not great situations before. And I do still think that the Panthers are not a great situation. However, Andy Dalton is definitely the guy to be in there right now because he's able to make throws that Bryce Young can't do right now. Yeah. Because Bryce Young is not the solution there. And so, yeah, I'm happy for Andy Dalton, dude. Like, that's super duper dope. And, Panthers fans deserve to have some joy injected into their lives. And so they got a big win yesterday. That's good for them.
I knew Andy Dalton was going to play well because it wasn't a playoff game.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, you want the bidet clip? Yeah, you can get that, Adam. Let's smoke some of that bopium, baby.
Bopium?
Yeah, I'm on the bopium today. Tom.
I like it. Oh.
A pagan or druid or Wiccan? Druid sounds the coolest.
Druid, yeah, you get like a cool hood and you could go and like light fires in the woods. And
I'm not starting any forest fires.
No, you're not.
I live in a great state where that is a serious problem.
Yeah, no, you're not going to start a forest fire.
You never know; they can get out of control quickly.
Well,
Tom.
maybe you should make a good fire pit then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, maybe do that. Hey, throwback, yeah. Talk about the Denver Broncos because
Tyler is so underrated that the announcer thinks his last name is the French word for cleaning your asshole with water.
Oh, bidet!
Bidets are French, right?
The word bidet actually comes from the French word for a small horse.
Bidet!
For a small horse.
With bidet. That's bidet in motion.
For a small horse.
Hey, we were like, this announcer's saying his name wrong. He's calling Tyler. He's calling him bidet. Not Batty, not Beatty. He's calling him bidet. And then I'm like, okay, let me find a video about bidets.
and you did.
And then I'm like, wait, it means small horse? He's a 5'8" running back in the NFL. This announcer was actually ahead of the curve. So
I mean, last name is still pronounced wrong.
yeah, but now I think it actually fits. He's a 5'8" Bronco, small horse, Tyler Bidet. It might stick, even if Tyler doesn't want it to. I'm
Excuse
certain
me, that's not your
he
name.
does not want it to stick.
Bidet. Okay. All right.
Anyway, we have
Broncos.
officially cleaned our assholes, the Denver Broncos organization. No more dingleberries sticking to our reputation. We're just a good football team, Tom.
Yeah. Your defense played lights out. I want to ask a couple questions too, because Buccaneers fans are obviously disappointed after yesterday.
Yeah.
They were dealing with some injuries heading into this game, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the Broncos. Kind of like what stood out that was different from this past week compared to the first 2 weeks of the season in which
Our
you were
offense
able to
didn't
play.
Suck. We
What?
moved the ball. That's the thing. Like the defense has been pretty good so far this season. And,
Yes.
It continued. Now, I had a little bit of hope because if you watched, the Buccaneers-Lions game, it was like the Bucs were kind of lucky to get a win there, right?
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson was unblockable, and that carried over. We sacked Baker Mayfield 7 times.
Yep.
And this is formally one of the best offensive lines in the league. So I don't really know what's going on in Tampa. 7 sacks. And we didn't have Baron Browning. He's on IR. We had Dondre Tillman stepping up, called up from the practice squad this week. Former UFL player. He gets 2 sacks. Zach Allen's been a monster. So that pressure too, outside of the sacks, the pressure just forced Baker Mayfield to be ineffective for most of the day. Last year, obviously, week 3, we go to Miami and we get 70 put on us. So everybody who thought that was going to happen again to my team, you can shut the hell up. History does not mean it's going to be repeated. The Bucs had one drive where they ran the ball consistently well, and that might be the only way you can really attack the Broncos defense. Mm-hmm. It's how the Seahawks got their win. There's a whole half of running the well, but we shut it down. We just shut it down. Bo Nix played better. Spread the ball around more, push it down the field more. Finally, Tyler Beatty. I can't not think but it. Tyler Beatty led the team in rushing. So Bo Nix no longer our leading rusher on the day, which helped. And if we can continue to run effectively, maybe we'll win some more games. I don't know how good the Broncos are.
Yeah.
I think we were too high on the Bucs. I think we were too high on the Saints. I think both of those teams came closer to the mean in terms of who they really are this week.
Okay.
And maybe the Broncos aren't as bad as they looked the first 2 weeks. That's my take.
Yeah, we'll get into the Saints game because that game was just a defensive game, man. I mean, besides the Saquon run and Goddard getting to the outside, with not much time left in that big catch and run, I think both defenses were just really good yesterday, and the Saints did enough to almost win that game. They were in front, and then Goddard, it was good, but they was wide open.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about them. But in terms of just scoring, Yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos defense, right? It's pretty damn solid, and ever since you got 70 points scored on you, they have been better. I mean, that's a pretty
so much better since
it's a
that
low
game.
bar to clear. 70 points is a lot of points, but no, Vance Joseph did a nice job and like really kind of put together. Secondary playing well.
The first month of last season, the defense was bad. All the games, because even I think the Commanders game, they put up a ton of yards and points, and so they've gotten better since then. Vance Joseph done a decent job. Riley Moss played well.
Wouldn't be too worried, honestly.
Pat Surtain's just been quietly just locking dudes down. He's not getting picks, but he's not getting targeted a ton, and he's not giving up. He's given up 2 or 3 receptions, and that's it. So Moss playing well, which he really didn't play last year. He was injured. He kind of came in late. So knowing they drafted Riley Moss and he's playing well is nice. Brandon Jones, the safety, he picked off Baker. He recovered a fumble later. The fumble, which closed the game, was Riley Moss knocking it loose. So it's my big take was the defense is going to keep this team in games. And if that gives the offense time to evolve and get better, which we've seen it get a little bit better each week, then I've got hope. And we play the Jets next. That's, I think, going to be tough again because I think the Jets defense is better than Tampa's right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when we play New York. But honestly, I just felt so good for that whole game, Tom. I haven't seen the Broncos start a game. They open the game with a touchdown drive, right? I was like, oh, great. Get the pick. We're up 14-0. Then we just controlled the rest of the game. We didn't score any touchdowns after the first quarter. And I didn't even fucking notice during the game. I was like, field goal, cool. We got 3 points. Let's do it. Yeah. And then I was like, after those 2 TDs, we didn't score any touchdowns. We fumbled in the red zone, but it didn't matter because we played good team football. And I'm sure just like you enjoyed your game with the Packers and Malik Willis, he ran the ball well. He made some incredible throws. It was just start to finish. The Broncos were the better team. And even in their wins last year, that wasn't the case. It was like, oh, God, we were lucky to have a shot at the end of some of those games. We were lucky that the Bills had 12 men on the field when we missed the game-winning kick. We had a lot of things go correctly at the end of games for them to go on that win streak. It just felt like the most complete win this team has had in a long time. So, it was nice. I'm not used to being in that spot.
It just filled with happiness and joy. But it's also a stressless game.
Yeah.
That's nice. And that's usually not the MO. Yeah. No, you cannot.
You'll get it on Friday. He'll have to do it on Friday. Every skull clap we make him do, baby, will be a thing of beauty. Hang it in the Louvre.
Anyway, so Jordan Love, he was close to playing last week. Close to playing this week. He was warming up. He practiced last week. And I know that the fan base was kind of like, you know what? I wouldn't hate it if he sat another week. Because, give him another week to rest, get a little bit stronger. And I was kind of like, listen, whatever the Packers decide, considering that they are super duper
conservative.
Yeah, they're like, they won't let a single person go out there unless they're fully cleared.
Perfect.
It's not the days of Brett Favre anymore. So, I wasn't super surprised, but to think about Malik Willis heading into this game and asked about this game of the Malik revenge game, and he's like, nope. He's had that quote last week. He's like, I'm super appreciative for the Titans, everything they did for me. They drafted me, they paid me, and then when they won the game afterwards, he's like, nope, every win's a win. Just such a awesome attitude to come in with. And because he started 3 games for the Titans, right? And they did not go well. And he got lambasted. Hey, thank you, buddy. During his time there in Tennessee. And for him to go in there, I thought, especially against that defensive front, they're going to face a lot more pressure than they did against the Colts.
Sure.
And Malik is going to have to throw the ball more. And he threw over 100 yards last week. He threw over 200 yards this week. And it was so awesome to see him play so well. And it wasn't just, through the air. He was also our leading rusher as
Yeah.
well. And dude, watching him juke some of those sacks, like his pocket presence of just being able to like bob and weave through there was so impressive. Like, because it was a true like mobile like threat quarterback. And it was awesome. So he had that opening touchdown in which he ran it. The defense, the first drive was not good. And we were like, oh man, like, is this actually going to turn out to be a really high scoring game? And then the defense just locked the F in.
Yeah.
They sacked freaking Will Levis 8 times. There's a loss of 56 yards. Interception. McKinney now has 3 interceptions on the season, 1 in every single week. What a free agent signing. I was so happy when they got him, and that has paid off.
Opportunistic is your defense.
Dude.
Opportunistic it is, not just.
7 interceptions. 7 interceptions in 3 weeks. They had 7 all of last season.
Yeah, that's
so
nuts.
in 3 weeks. So Jeff Hafley like really was like, yeah, we're gonna cause turnovers.
More like Jeff fully got that defense back.
It's true. It's true. Christian Watson was a leading receiver. He only had 2 catches, and like some of the plays he made, my man's jumping up in the air, getting smashed out of it. Both Emmanuel Wilson and him tried to do it. Josh Jacobs didn't do a ton, but I'm not really concerned about that because they had Emmanuel
still tired
Wilson.
from last week. It's fine.
Yeah, like he literally got 32 carries. And so the Packers are like in this best case scenario where week 1, Jordan Love goes down and it's like, oh crap, like, is that our season? Turns out he's not as injured as people believed. Excellent, right? All right, well, now we're putting in Malik Willis, a guy that we traded for a 7th round pick. We traded a 7th round pick for this guy less than a month ago.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we can split while he's gone, right? 2-0. The defense has been playing real well. There was never a cause for concern this game. There's a part where Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins kind of got hot and they got into a rhythm there. They broke that rhythm. And man, like I was so happy as a fan. Like it was what you were just saying. That whole game was like, I don't feel stressed. Like I'm good.
Sure.
Like once we had like a 13-point lead, I was like, okay, like I feel good about this. And they just carried that the entire game and they wound up playing really good football. And Vikings, listen, we'll talk about the Minnesota Vikings and what they did to the Texans, but I'm so excited for Sunday's game. I think there's a really strong chance that Jordan Love comes back, and that's going to be his first game at Lambeau against the Vikings, who are undefeated. Well, like, let's see. Like, let's see what this division's got going on, because the Vikings have been good for the past 3 weeks. Let's see what we got. I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, I think there's like there's a couple things there. One, if Bryce Young wants to have some hope, look to Malik Willis.
Sure.
Look to a guy, one, maybe not getting a fair shake, right? Malik came out of that weird quarterback draft, athletically very talented, but he's definitely a guy who's, you would say, raw, right? And would just need time somewhere. And he goes to a better situation. He goes to a well-coached team, the Packers. Has a good supporting cast around him, comes out, plays good football. So maybe there's hope there for Bryce Young. Also, look to Justin Herbert and the Chargers. He has preseason Liz Frank in his foot. Got to get Liz and Frank out of his foot because he's got that injury. High ankle sprain, suffers that last week, and then they play him, aggravates his high ankle sprain. And it's like,
Yeah.
high ankle sprains are really tough to play through. And you look at the way the Packers kind of had the luxury to wait with Jordan Love. Maybe the Chargers would have been better to not play Justin Herbert this week and just let him rest.
Sure.
They were overperforming already this season, and they lose anyway. And now he's re-aggravates it, so it sets him back another week. So I think, like, with your quarterback and injuries, it's better to be safe on those things, especially when you kind of have like a head start like the Chargers did. So now they're kind of in a shitty position going forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people hurt yesterday. Yeah, they got to work through that. But yeah, Packers, man, I'm excited. I want to talk about a bunch of other games that happened yesterday because there is a lot of pandemonium and chaos. We can talk about the Chargers Steelers super quick. That game, I think it delivered on the promise of what that game was going to be, because I think heading into it, you're like, okay, two teams who could run the ball, defenses are been playing pretty damn well. And then unfortunately, the Chargers did have a ton of injuries. Joe Alt got injured, Herbert got injured, and that wasn't great. And the Steelers, dude, Justin Fields, you talk about guys in different situations. And
Yeah, that's another great example.
Justin Fields, who has been solid the past 2 weeks, and now yesterday had his best week yet as the Steelers QB. And I think that someone mentioned about Caleb Williams and the Bears because they lost again yesterday, and Caleb started looking good in the fourth quarter a little bit, but before that, the offense was struggling mightily against
Their
the
line
Colts.
looked like shit.
Yeah, dude, it was awful. And Caleb also was just missing throws again. Romo Dunze wound up finishing and having a good day. He got his first touchdown.
Yeah.
Caleb got his first passing touchdown. They got that. But for the Steelers, I don't know if Justin Fields is playing that well. And I don't think he's playing godly. But again, he's playing better, right? He's playing more consistent and efficient football.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he does that in Chicago this year.
No, fuck no,
Because
he doesn't.
look at what Caleb's going through. He's the number one overall pick, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about different situations, and the Steelers, kudos to them, right? They're 3-0 because of course they are. Their defense is phenomenal, as it always is. Like, they run the ball, and they're not turning the ball over a ton. So
honestly, I am. I was really mad we didn't get to see Russell Wilson versus the Broncos week 2.
yeah.
But now, based on the way that Justin Fields is playing, based on the praise he's
the worst,
getting,
but
I'm kind of glad Russell Wilson's not in there because I feel like he might be playing similarly.
Yeah.
The difference is Fields, he's not taking a lot of bad sacks. He would not be looking good with the Bears right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are turning on Matt Eberflus again,
Shocker.
like they turned on Matt Nagy.
Well, they should be also turning on Shane Waldron, which then, again, you look to your front office and going, why are we hiring these people, especially when Seattle's like, hey, not so great. And guess what? Seattle's sitting at 3-0. Sorry, continue.
Well, that's the thing, though. So now, like, the Bears are in this situation where
Willis.
they've got to just go through the bumps and bruises with Caleb.
Yep.
They got to keep trying to build around him.
Yep.
It starts with the line. There was that play on the goal line where they, like, I think they pitch it out to Swift or whatever. And it's like you just see like 3 Chicago Bears, all linemen, just all on the ground. And there's just all these Colts pursuing. It's just like, oh, God, this is a terrible look. And conversely, what's rough about like the Bears losing that game is Anthony Richardson didn't play well for Indy. Like, Chicago's defense is not bad. So you got, another young guy not playing well, and you got the number 1 overall pick, and, you can't finish that game off. Indy's doing it without Buckner out there. I don't know. It's just, you got to be patient. And we're seeing a lot of bad quarterback play from young QBs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it kind of has to do with so many young quarterbacks are relying on athleticism, and in the NFL it doesn't go as far as it did in college. Like, you can look to like Will Levis struggling. It's a weird thing because it can help young quarterbacks so much, but in terms of the passing game specifically, we've just got to give them more time to develop as passers in the NFL. And it's like, just look, it's like every team with a young quarterback, they're playing like shit right now, and it's just not that fun to watch.
You mentioned Andy Dalton, right, in the offensive line, and the offensive line for the Panthers did much better yesterday, right? Like, they looked pretty damn good. And you look at what's going on with Caleb and like the interior offensive line that's not good right now. It just speaks to, this is like such tired football talk, but it, like, how important offensive line is. And if you don't have that, like, you're screwed, man. Like, it's gonna be so much where you could have mediocre wide receivers, but if you have time, you can find gaps in the defense just because you have more than 1.7 seconds to throw the football.
Or if you're just getting rid of the ball quickly, you can compensate for some of that quote
Sure,
bad
sure.
offensive line play. And one thing Bo Nix is doing well as a rookie is getting rid of the ball quickly.
Sure.
Like there's a throw in the game. The announcer's like, oh God, he got rid of that so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it takes young quarterbacks a while to feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And it feels like a bunch of offensive lines are terrible. And maybe some of them are, or maybe they're trying to block for 9 seconds every snap, and they're just getting worked.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to know the difference.
Yeah, I think it also depends on the team. It depends on the week at this point. Seahawks, dude. I mean, they beat the crap out of the Dolphins yesterday. DK had a great game. The defense had a great game. You're going up against Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson. So like, I can't give like all the credit, but bro, the Seahawks get to play their old friends, the Lions, next week, who they just have their number. So if they're able to beat the Lions, like I have a lot more confidence in them, but right now they're sitting 3-0 on top of the division. So there's ain't no complaints there on the defense.
Yeah, I think like if you're a Seahawks fan, that's a game they should have won. Knowing Tua is not playing, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this game, and you went in there and you did. So that's not like an overachievement. The Seahawks did what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
They're atop the NFC West right now.
49ers
like,
are
decisively so. So just keep the momentum going, Seattle. And
Charbonnet was much better because they did not have a run game last week. And Charbonnet, because no Kenneth Walker, like Charbonnet played real well this
touchdowns?
week. So he played well. The defense played well against a struggling Dolphins team right now who is just trying to stop the bleeding at this point. So yeah, they're beating who's in front of them. And like that's the best that you could say right now because hey, they're playing well. So we'll see. I think the real test is going to come against the Lions next week. That's going to be a really interesting game.
Is that Seattle, Detroit next week?
Yeah.
That'll be a good game.
It's always
kind of like it'll be a good gauge for where both teams really are. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, usually what happens when they meet is both defense completely disappear. They score like 40 points on each other, and the Seahawks just wind up escaping with a win. Like it happens almost every year at this point.
You know, I would love one game or 2 games this weekend where defenses just disappear. Let me see some touchdowns.
Best 3-0 team.
Well, we got to get through tonight because it's going to be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it might be Buffalo Bills. Might be.
And the Chiefs are good. Don't get me wrong. Chiefs are playing that tough football. I saw a stat with the Chiefs over like the last 9 games. Their margin of victory is like lower than any team. I just want to say every time. It's not. Let me see if I can find the stat really.
Ever.
They're just winning close games. They're not blowing. Sure. We got so used to the Chiefs just blowing out their opponents. And obviously they didn't do it last year. They won the Super Bowl playing this style of football. They're picking it up. Okay, they have won their last 9 games by a combined total of just 54 points, including the playoffs. Smallest combined margin of victory by any team during a 9-0 stretch in NFL history.
Damn.
So, it sucks too. It sucks, Tom, because it's a testament to how well coached the Chiefs are. It's a testament to how good their defense is. And of course, their offense, you're never worried with Patrick Mahomes. He's adapted, he's adjusted to how he has to play, and
he
he's
hasn't
doing
been playing his
well.
best football in 3 weeks. Like that. I was talking to Chiefs fans about this last night. Like there was some especially early in that Falcons game. You were like, what the hell is going on with that? Like he
doesn't look good. He doesn't look like Mahomes. They're getting it done.
But that's the thing, right? They're the epitome, Perna, of a team where it does not matter.
They're the cockroaches of the league. They're never dead.
They're 3-0. They're not even playing they're not playing perfect football right now. I think Coleman might have tweeted about that. He's just like, this is the worst you're going to see the Chiefs, and they're 3-0.
I disagree. You're going to see them play worse, and they're going to lose.
I don't think they're going undefeated this year.
But I got to believe they're going to get worse somehow, some way, Tom.
Hey,
they're like the Rasputins.
All right.
And they got 11 men on the field, and they got 1 referee always on their side, Tom. Always. Weird how pass interference only works
eventually, yes,
for the Chiefs' opponents.
And again, it's, because you look at the last drive there, like the calls that went in the Falcons' favor.
Yeah, you want me to give like my honest opinion?
It's just garbage officiating, bro. And
It
it's
was a
what
bad-
we
yeah.
say every single year. Just consistency. That is all we're asking for. The Cowboys and the Ravens, they had a ton of penalties yesterday too. Tolbert throws a ton of flags. And I think that it was when we were even talking to Ben Kurt. The fact that teams have to scheme and be like, okay, who's the officiating crew this weekend? Right? Okay, they like to really call this. It's the consistency, because I saw all this morning, all last night. You look at what should have been called defensive pass interference in the end zone last night, and then compared to what was, PI last week. Again, just want consistency. And I don't think it's, hey, we're just going to give the Chiefs the win, because the Falcons even had a chance to win that football game last night. I don't know what the hell that last play call was. But at the end of the day, like, because it does happen to the Chiefs on a semi-regular basis, that's the narrative, right? So it's always going to enforce of like, hey, the refs are there. But it speaks to a bigger problem that the officiating is just not consistent.
Just get it right. Make the right call, and people can't crucify you.
Well, they said, so I read the pool notes afterwards too, and there's like, from our angle, it didn't look like it was defensive pass interference. And it's
Your
like,
angle was wrong then.
But again, right? What did they do a couple years ago? They're like, all right, let's make it challengeable that they could, and they never changed the call.
No.
So
they're stubborn to be correct.
Yep.
The thing is, so that there was a pass interference in the end zone, right? That should have been flagged.
Sure.
And it wasn't. The Falcons did get makeup calls. 2 makeup calls, I think, the next drive. But those makeup calls aren't as impactful as what that flag would have been, because it would have put the Falcons on the 1 yard line with a fresh set of downs. That said, I fully believe in my heart of hearts, if the Falcons scored a touchdown there and take the lead, we're just talking about Patrick Mahomes executing a perfect game-winning drive. Like, there was like so much time on the clock. I'm like, oh, they can't score a touchdown here anyway. And I was like, this actually works in the Falcons' favor if they go out and get a stop, because Chiefs have the lead. I'm like, oh, there's not going to be as much pressure. I think the Falcons will get a stop here. Then they got the makeup calls. And then on 4th and inches, they get stuffed. Nick Bolton sniffs out the play and just destroys Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson. Bijan. It was Bijan Robinson. They destroy him well short of the line to gain there. And we can bitch about those refs, which I will do, but the Falcons blew it. They had opportunity. Convert 4th and inches. You can't run a quarterback sneak because you're scared your quarterback's Achilles is going to explode, probably. So and I guess it's Kirk Cousins' call at the line, and they try to run a stretch play, and they can't get it. So,
yeah,
it's unfortunate.
Malik Neighbors looking good yesterday about offensive.
Dude, he's insane. He's saving Daniel Jones' job. That's how good he is.
Some of the freaking catches that man was making was just...
The one catch on the sideline, that ball is an interception. That's not a great throw by Daniel Jones. And Neighbors just jumps over the guy and pulls the ball away from him. Which is like, that's insane. And then his touchdown grab, also insane. Dude I saw a stat today. He's got 6 receptions of 20 plus yards. Like, he leads the league right now. He's a rookie playing for Daniel Jones, doing that. Put him in the Hall of Fame. This is my advice to Malik. Just do not let your dad put out a highlight reel.
No, don't do that.
Okay?
Don't.
Happened to another great Giants receiver later in his career, but just steer clear of highlight reels from your father. You'll be all right, Malik.
Let's talk about the purple incarnation of Satan, because they put a shellacking on the Strouds. And there was a lot going into this game. The Texans still haven't beaten the Vikings in franchise history. It was being played at home. The Vikings are playing well. They had that big win against San Francisco. And it's the way that they won, in which their defense making it a tough day for CJ Stroud. He 20 for 31, 215, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, was sacked 4 times. Right? They could not get any resemblance of a run game going. And Darnold, first of all, Justin Jefferson. I hate how good he is. I really, 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 really hate how good he is. Jefferson's so effing good, man.
Yeah.
Because there were some throws for Darnold that he bailed out.
He's
Sam
like
Darnold.
Malik Neighbors level of good, Justin Jefferson.
But Sam Darnold also had some really nice throws. He had 4 effing touchdowns.
Yeah.
And with the Vikings, we were talking about this last night, they're just not shooting themselves in the foot, like usually happens. And I know that like it's 3 weeks and Vikings fans, it's like, yeah, okay, there's this cautious optimism. Like we're playing well. We're on top of the NFC North. Like, dude, I am legitimately so excited for Sunday's game. You know, Aaron Jones is playing well for them. Great. So happy for you. But they're playing efficient football. Brian Flores has really made that defense better. And yeah, I did not think that they were going to handle the Strouds the way that they did. I thought that like, okay, maybe it's a closer game, you know, comes down to the end. Nope. That defense beat the crap out of him, man. And
Yeah.
Sam Darnold is playing damn well efficient football. They winning games.
I think like, you know, Sam's getting a lot of attention and rightfully so, but it's like, I think the Vikings are winning because of their defense. Their defense just like you shut down CJ Stroud and the Texans. Hats off. Now, Joe Mixon didn't play, right? Didn't travel with the team because of his injury.
Sure.
And I think the Texans running the ball effectively has benefited them early this season. But yeah, Brian Flores gave Brock Purdy trouble the week before. Now you see him shut down Houston, win that game. They dominated that game. So they've got the defense to do it. And now, you know, you're watching Darnold kind of resurrect his career, and they're an intriguing team because of that. Now you got to be a Vikings fan Friday. It's pretty cool timing.
Okay,
It's just like great timing.
not great. That welcome to Iceland. I think that's what it is. Welcome.
Welcome.
That's it.
Oh, yes. And thank you, Johnny, for sending Pikachu into my house, Johnny Bart.
Yeah, you have a Pikachu plush I saw.
We got a big
Great job, Johnny.
Pikachu in the living room.
Great job, Johnny. Great job. I don't have like a ton of. Are you concerned about the Texans? Did we overhype them?
I'm not concerned about them. I think we've overhyped basically every team.
They beat the Colts. They beat the Bears, right?
Wow.
Those teams. Are those
Yeah,
teams.
I'm not too concerned because they're going to play the Colts again. They're going to play Tennessee. Who knows where Jacksonville really is? They'll win that division, but
I'm afraid for Jacksonville, dude. Like they need to have a good game tonight. And they are, it's week 3. It's tough to be like the must win category, though. I say like yesterday, the Ravens had to have a win. We're getting into must win because the Jaguars, I don't think are doing anything to dispel the rumors that they just might not be good. Like they lost to the Browns last week and the Browns lost to the effing Giants. And again, I know Malik Neighbors had himself a hell of a game. The D-line had itself a hell of a game. The Cleveland Browns are not a good football team. They are not good. And
No.
I mean, they got their ass kicked by the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, they got their ass kicked last week. They were getting their ass kicked last week until the Ravens were like, welcome back. So
the Browns have a quarterback problem.
Matt
They've
Flynn,
got
he's
an
going against the
offensive
Lions.
line problem. Deshaun Watson, as the season goes on, is just going historically down the ladder in terms of all-time horribly efficient quarterback play. He sucks. He's terrible. And also, when the game was on the line, he did throw a nice pass, and it was dropped. I forget which receiver it was. Hit him right in the numbers, dropped.
Mark Cooper had some nice grabs yesterday, though.
Yeah, Amari's good. Browns need to trade Amari. They need to get something for him, and Amari needs to be freed to go play for a good team.
Yeah, so this was brought up yesterday about a religion that you could join.
A Greek god who is a protector of livestock and male genitalia and is often depicted as being overly long and erect. That does sound like a god I would pray to.
That sounds like Brandon Brady. Like, I go have a scotch with that guy.
I mean, freshman year of high school, I portrayed Poseidon in our English class play we had to do.
Did you?
Yeah, we had to do a play for English class, a whole
Okay.
performance. I was
Okay.
Poseidon.
How'd you do?
Crushed it.
Do you have a trident?
Yep, and a floaty. A floaty.
Oh, look at that.
I said, let's make this funny, huh, guys? Make me play a Greek god for English class?
I think there's someone from like 8th grade that like has seen your YouTube videos and it's just like, I think that guy played Poseidon in my English class once.
That's right.
So, oh, Odin. We could do that. Well, I don't know if he's forgiven the Ravens at that point.
No. Give me the Greek dick god. That's the one I want. What's his name again? Priapus?
Yeah, there you go.
Cocculus?
That's
Priapus. Like a Prius. Priapus.
Yeah. I don't think he sucks. I
No,
think
he's
he's not great right now. So the fourth quarter, to real quick, the fourth quarter like provided some hope for Bears fans of like, okay, maybe we could start getting something going. The play calling's not good. The offensive line play is not good, and Caleb does need to play better. Yeah, the Colts, they got a much needed win. Jonathan Taylor, so amazing. Jonathan Taylor had one run where it only took like 2 seconds, but he's running behind the O-line and it gets blown up. And he literally is just like hiding behind the offensive lineman and then throws him to the side and just like hits the gap. And I was like, dude, he's just so good.
Yeah.
Like he just needs to be their entire offense.
Why doesn't an NFL team try that for a play?
Just hide.
They just surround the running, like you hand it off, the line folds around him, and he just runs in the middle of the biggest lineman and see how long it takes before that's penetrated.
Yeah. Why not? Lost to the bad Eagles, beat a bad Colts team, and beat the Titans. What breeds your confidence? Because it's the Minnesota Vikings. That's what breeds my confidence. Because the Vikings can never have nice things. But the real answer is, I think that the defense that they're about to play, I think the defense of the Packers has been very opportunistic. I think they're going to get after Darnold. I'm super excited to see that. And yeah, they got to contain Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones, who I think that's going to be the real challenge. But yeah,
and with the Eagles, like,
and it's also real quick, beat a bad Colts team and beat the Titans. They did this with their backup quarterback also, who has been there less than a month.
Yeah.
I know Sam Darnold, but he's got plenty of experience, stuff like that. But my man, Malik Willis came in, hadn't won a game, hadn't thrown 100 yards, hadn't thrown a passing touchdown. The past 2 weeks played pretty darn well with an offense, and they haven't really even unlocked their passing game. They're able to do it on the ground and strong defense. And now if Jordan Love comes back on Sunday, they get back that passing game. They still have that defense, which is opportunistic, and they can have a ground game. You got a balanced football team.
I don't think the Eagles are bad, though.
Bro, let's talk about the Eagles-Saints game. That was all a defensive game.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're sitting here calling the Eagles trash too. I mean,
They shut down the hottest offense in the NFL.
Their defense kept them in that game. Thank God for Saquon Barkley, because he had like that 65-yard touchdown. And again, the offense wasn't great for the Eagles. I know Devontae Smith got banged up too.
Devontae Smith hurt.
Yeah.
No AJ Brown.
Nope.
So they did it with Saquon and Goddard.
Correct.
Got
I gotta give them some props there.
Yeah.
So yes,
Are they great?
That was bad, Kyle.
No, but they're not bad.
So
They're better than the Cowboys right now.
I'm just saying. But yeah, so talking about the Saints, I'm not concerned about the Saints. Listen, they're not going to be able to put up 40 points every single week. However, that being said, they did enough. Like Derek Carr definitely looked a lot more human this week, and he looked more like
Derek
we
Carr.
expect from Derek Carr.
He didn't look human. He looked like an automobile.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts threw for a ton of yards. He threw 300 yards. Like he threw for a bunch, and Saquon was a monster. But what you're gonna see in September football is like by the end of September, we're gonna have a better idea of like, okay, who's actually good, right? And who's like, where are teams in the rankings? Right now, it's pandemonium and chaos. There's so many upsets yesterday. Just did not expect that at all. But yeah. Eagles, they got that win. It was a hard-fought win. It was a tough game. Both defenses played pretty solid, even though the Saints let up a bunch of yards. And yeah, just came down. Goddard got free. Got free.
I don't think quarterbacks are prepared to play in the NFL.
Well, Tom Brady, right? Like that's that clip that was going around, I think even last week, talking about how in Michigan he was taught like how to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
And instead, it was kind of like, okay, nope, let's just cater to this. And then when those guys get to NFL teams, it's like, okay, well, we gotta teach them like the process of how to be an NFL quarterback, and not every program does that. So we'll see. We shall see. Burrow will be washed.
I don't think Burrow's
he's
washed.
No, I don't think he's gonna be washed. You know who's not washed? Real quick.
What?
Talking about the one thing going for the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Aubrey, man.
Oh, yeah.
What a effing kicker. Holy
was it
crap.
65? Did he get
65 yarder. They didn't let him kick like a 70-something yarder last week. Freaking cowards. But, dude, Brandon Aubrey's so effing good.
Yeah.
He's so effing good. And the Cowboys, Dak was walking back to the locker room, and I think he was like yelling at somebody. He's like, hey, jump off if you want, in terms of just like the team bandwagon. The Cowboys.
I thought he meant a cliff.
They might be that too.
He was threatening. I didn't like it.
I think the Cowboys got some issues. They had some like light at the end of like, hey, you know, they're roaring back. They recovered an onside kick. Like, that's exciting. But they needed to win this football game, and the defense did not play well for a huge chunk of that game.
Yeah.
And
like they're missing Dan Quinn.
There's a lot of concerns, I think. I talked to Scooter live, and he was saying the defensive tackles, because they got some injuries and they just haven't been good. Yeah. They also don't have a run game right now, which I don't think surprises anybody, because they had Zeke Elliott and Rico Dowdle, back there. So that was also a problem.
Yeah, Jerry Jones taking a lot of heat today for not signing Derrick Henry.
He said we couldn't afford him. Couldn't afford him last. That's why.
I can't afford that man. Can't afford him.
So I'm just saying that's semi-regular. But yeah, Ravens, they got a much needed win. And I don't think this Ravens win is also instilling any confidence with the Ravens right now. Lamar Jackson also only threw the ball 15 times because they had 274 rushing yards. They just ran it down their throat. It's kind of like what the Bills did to the Cowboys last year, right? Like that was that big James Cook game when they ran all over them. And they got enough and they got the win. There's definitely some fear there at the end, but hey, there you go. Alex rocking.
Fear is a factor.
So for you, it's true. It's true. All right, Detroit. They got a defense, baby. They got a defense. The one play they threw it to the Sun God, and then he passed it back. I think it was to Gibbs, right? He caught it like going. He was running. It looked like it was a slanter in route, and then literally just tossed it to Gibbs, and they got it. Yeah, that defense able to, for the most part, contain Kyler Murray. They played pretty darn well. He was their leading rusher too, Kyler. But yeah. Offense definitely could be a little better, but they had a great run game. Monty, so damn good. Defense played well. They
controlled the game, and the guy none of us really were talking about before the season is David Montgomery. 23 carries in this game, gets over 100 yards. It just like when you can run the ball like that, it limits like mistakes you might make.
Good.
And I think it was probably we probably shouldn't have expected Kyler Murray to follow up one of his best career games with another great game against a very good Lions team.
Sure.
But the Cardinals were running the ball well heading into this game. And then Detroit just shut it down. So holding James Conner to like 17 yards, like that's impressive. That's until this point, looked like Cards' offensive line good. Looked like they're going to be able to run down people's throat, and Kyler Murray was going to do some magic, and none of that happened. And the Lions just held on to a lead. Held on to it.
Ask me after next week. Ask me after they play the Lions. That's what I need to know. 49ers, Rams. 49ers had that game. Brock Purdy played pretty Juwan Jennings had the game of his life. And you could see the confidence when he literally Randy Mossed one of the defenders. He's just like, nope, that's mine. What a game, because he's usually Mr. Third Down. Brock Purdy played well. They just blew it at the end, man.
Why did they pay Brandon Ayuk? You got Jawan Jennings. You guys should have traded him. You should have traded him for Amari, saved your money, paid Jawan Jennings, who, by the way, Jennings, he was their leading receiver week 1 as well. Okay. This is the second time he's done it. 175 yards with his 3 touchdowns, and they still lose. Sean McVay, he's just a good coach.
Hey, they had a fake punt in here too. It reminded me of the old Rams team. Do they do that? Someone from the NFC West. I don't think I have the team wrong. Didn't they do this against the Seahawks? Where like whenever the Rams played the Seahawks years ago, they just did the most BS plays of like fake punts, like all the trickery, because they're like, we usually can't beat them, so let's just like do crazy stuff, and it always worked. I think it was against the Seahawks.
Maybe, yeah. I don't recall.
So much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, it's just like the Rams did it without Puka, without Cooper, all the injuries. Now the Niners had all the injuries too. That's, they were both very injured in this game, but
fake out punt return. Yes.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like it's I think like Niners and Rams, that's just a fun football rivalry because you have 2 very good head coaches.
SoFi's filled with 49ers fans.
Yeah.
Like filled to the brim.
Bucket.
It's all red. It's another home game. And dude, like they were trailing. And Stafford hung in there, man.
Love me some Matty
Stafford hung in there. Kyron Williams had a nice game. Tutu Atwell had a nice game. They were just consistent, man. So I got to be happy for the Rams because heading into this is still the IR Bowl, right? So many guys injured from both teams, especially the receiving core for the Rams. And now, dude, that's a gutsy win for the Rams. It's a tough loss for the 49ers. I think they're going to be okay. And that's why, like, I'm not sold on the Seahawks for the division yet. I need to see them play the Lions. Play the Lions. They are off to a 3-0 start. That's really, really good. What is this 49ers team going to look like when they're healthy? What are the Rams going to look like when they're healthy? Like, when they get CMC back, like, what is that going to look like? When they get Cooper Kupp back, like, what's that going to look like? And Puka. So,
yeah, it's like how quickly can both of those teams get some of their best players back? Right now, the Rams just eked out a really important win, so we'll see.
I'm just saying, babe.
Now we got 2 games tonight. God, I hate that.
We got 2 games. Yeah, this happens 3 times this season.
It's so stupid.
3 times this season. So tonight, we got the Jaguars taking on the Buffalo Bills, which I think it should be a good game. It's usually a weird game when they play. I know Bills fans are a little nervous about this game. The Jaguars, they need a win, 100 million %. And it's going to be tough going up against a good Bills team. And then you got the Bengals taking on the Commanders, which could be a very interesting game. An interesting game. What do you got on the Bills game?
Commanders, interesting. Yes.
Yeah. He believes. What do you think about the Bills-Jaguars game?
What do I think about the Bills-Jaguars game?
Well, here we go. Here comes the clip. Get him up. Get him.
We got too many clips, Tom.
Yeah.
No, it's the Bills!
It's like, like buttholes, everybody has one.
That was awesome.
So yeah,
that's when I was trying to find the Cowboys clip. I skipped that one.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Jones runs all over us because that happens, every time. Every time we play, good running back.
Dude, I want to see Josh Allen throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Great.
I just want to see it.
There you go.
I just want to see Josh Allen go off.
Great. Yeah, I think the Bills should win this game. I would not be surprised if it's a close game, though. I think the Jaguars are going to come out and they're going to have to play really good football to win. I got the Bills sneaking away a win here, and the Jaguars need to look good. They need to show signs of life, or I'm sure they wouldn't mind having Amari Cooper. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
No, he does not deserve to go there. Sorry. No team should trade with the Chiefs under any circumstances.
Breckenridge is dope, baby. That's right. That's right.
Oh, I was at Breck Brew this weekend.
So was my father.
Really?
Yeah. My Uncle Jeff, who was at the fan event that we went to, it was his birthday, and they had it at Breckenridge yesterday.
On Sunday. They went on Sunday?
yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
There you go.
I was there Saturday. Shout out Vanessa.
We'll see, Scotty.
Shout out the
We'll
C minuses, a local band who played nothing but covers of songs that I love.
There you go.
It's just so good. It's like every song is like they can't miss. They can't miss.
The best team win.
Hmm.
Let's go. I'm pumped, man. Like I mentioned this yesterday too. The Vikings usually like come into Lambeau and win, and then we go into their house and win. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens either. But like, let's see. It's divisional football. Like teams don't like each other. There's a lot of revenge game going on. Let's see. Let's see.
You know what I do if I'm the Packers?
I'll go.
I start Malik Willis, and then midway through the second quarter, I put in Jordan Love.
That's the one.
That's how you get in Brian Flores' head.
Mm-hmm.
You start Malik Willis. You do a run heavy, QB run heavy offensive attack. And just as it looks like they're figuring out how to stop it, boom, here comes Jordan Love. Uh-oh, game plan just changed.
Mm-hmm.
But since Matt LaFleur is not as smart as me, probably won't happen.
X-rays were negative for Justin Herbert. So he has high ankle sprain, but yeah, X-rays were negative. So hopefully.
Yeah, his high ankle sprains just got worse.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a
gonna
little bit
hurt
to recover.
It's a hard injury to play through.
And he's also exactly. He's like, let's go, just enough to not go get a top tier quarterback.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Let's go. Lamar told Humphrey, there's nothing to celebrate. Yeah, I mean, the Ravens got work to do. You know, they're sitting at 1-2, and the Steelers are sitting at 3-0. That's a bit, dude. How fun! I think it's possible. How funny would it be if the Steelers are the last team to be undefeated again, and Justin Fields just looking around? He's like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. We'll see. Vikings fans getting really confident. Good. Be confident. Be confident. We'll see. We'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll see. Ground game's so good, and Monty's just a monster. He's just good. Bengals Commanders. You got Bengals in this game?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I got Bengals.
I need to see something from Cincy. They almost beat the
They get
Chiefs.
T. Higgins back too.
So, yeah, give me Cincy.
Yeah. Falcons winning NFC South. Dude, that last play was just bad.
We'll see.
Bad play. Oh,
NFC South is up for grabs still.
yeah, not the Panthers, but you know.
We'll see. You never know.
T's gonna be back. Be good. I'm not Jack. I know. And I know Aaron Jones is probably gonna do well against us. I know. I've already prepared myself for
First 400-yard
Oh.
rusher in a game, Aaron Jones.
It's gonna be great. Perna. Dude, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. That's gonna be an excellent game. Lions Seahawks. I'm super duper pumped for. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So
Is it another double header though? Stupid.
I think it might be. Yeah, NFL Week 4 because they do it again. I think it's like Week 7 or something.
So annoying.
I hate it so much. Yep. It's Titans Dolphins. Ain't watching that. And then Seahawks Lions. Definitely watching that. And Sunday Night Football is Bills Ravens. That should be a fun game.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Should be a fun game. Perna, what do you got coming out, buddy?
Well, winners and losers won't be ready till tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
So just go check out the new best game ever.
There you go. Yeah, Mooney missed that kick too. It was like a 55er.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, we already talked about it. Yeah, the Falcons got makeup calls, and Falcons had opportunities to win that game again. Like they did. You know,
They got the stop after that. They got the ball back.
You
You can't really complain, except for, like I said, the makeup calls weren't equal to what possibly could have been the actual correct call.
Yeah, that's the concern also as a Packers fan. Like, they're about to get a whole bunch of potential players back. They get, like, TJ back. They get Addison back. Like, that's a different ballgame. So, we'll see. It's going to get interesting.
Yeah, give Sam Darnold more weapons. What's going to happen? Good God.
We'll see.
MVP. MVP.
Today, if the NFL was scripted week 3. Oh, the Strouds.
The Stroud crowd is hurting.
Woo! The Strouds. Yeah. That's going to be, I'm hoping get that out around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere around there. It just takes a bit of time to write and record and edit. Then I'm streaming Monday Night Football. We streamed 3 games yesterday. So I'm going to be streaming again tonight. It's an early game, too. Crap, fairly early game. So Jaguars, Bills, we'll be doing that. And then after that, it's not fun. It's not fun. Every NFL fan's reaction to Week 3 will come out later tonight.
Bam, bam.
It's going to be great. But, folks, we appreciate the hell out of you. We had over 8,000 people chilling in with us on a Monday. Feel free to like and subscribe. Also, we're a podcast as well. Make sure to give that a listen if that is your preferred medium. But we'll see you real soon. We'll see you back on Wednesday for GPS. Folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigating.
And you reached your destination, Tom.